Welcome to No More Bullshift. I'm Peggy.
And I'm Marcy.
We are two women who believe that life's trials aren't happening to us, they're happening for us.
And we're here to help you turn every why me into watch me.
Because shifting out of victim mode and into empowerment is what we do best.
So join us as we cut through the bullshift and help you see how strong you really are.
I don't know about you, but when people say victim, I'm like, oh, God, what the hell happened? Like, what happened to you? You're a
Right.
victim?
Strong
I don't know.
words.
Yeah, it's a really strong word. But
Yes.
I think it's also like a buzzword kind of,
Yeah.
you know? But I do think we play the victim role a lot more than we realize in life.
Completely agree. Completely agree.
So I think that's what we want to talk about today is, are we all victims?
Right.
Even if we haven't had the big thing happen.
Yes.
You know, even if we've not had the bad marriage, we haven't had the bad childhood, we've lived a charmed life,
For sure.
right?
Yeah,
And
for sure.
can you still be have victim mentality if you've had life handed to you on a platter?
Yes. Oh, I think 100%. I think it's almost like subconscious. Like you can just like slip into that. And I think an important thing I learned a while ago is a victim needs either a villain, like someone to blame, or a savior. Like they can't fix it themselves. This person has to fix it. But it's this person's fault. They never take ownership themselves.
Oh, that's good. That's the lack of ownership. So when we're looking at what is a victim mentality, it's where we're placing blame or we're looking to be saved.
Yes.
And or possibly both.
True. Very true.
So what does that show up as in our everyday life? Because to me, that seems like the mindset of, why is everything always happening to me?
Right.
It's not fair.
Yes.
What are some other ways you see it showing up for people?
I think a big one, I'm just going to say it. I feel like there's a lot of moms, suburban moms, that like get into this martyr, like, I have to drive these kids to a million sports, and then I have to make dinner, and then I have to go to the school meeting. And it's just like, it's all coming at them, and they have no control to delegate, to ask people for help or hire help or whatever. It's just like, it's all happening and coming at them. And
these are the same women, by the way, that you're sitting in like the classroom meeting or whatever, and they need somebody to organize something, and they're like, well, I guess I'll do it since nobody else will.
Right.
Like,
That's a
no,
great
you didn't
point.
even give Susie over there a chance to like
Yes.
say they would do it. You took it
Yes.
on.
Yes.
Why do you think we do that? Why do you think people do that?
Honestly, I think there's a little messed up thing right now. I know it's in America. I don't know about other countries, but where we almost applaud that as a good mom. She's taking everything on, stressed to the gills, stretched so thin, doesn't even have time to take care of herself because she's taking care of all these other things. She's actually being the savior for all these other people. And that's why I think people like it or lean into it sometimes.
So the people, I don't understand that mentality because I don't have. That is one mentality I've never struggled with, is the need to save.
Sure.
But I see it a lot. Like when you said that, I was like, oh my God, I can think of like 10 people
Sure.
that I know that are exactly that. Not even moms, but you see it in the workforce. You see people like they have committees, right?
Yeah.
And people are like, oh, we need you on the diversity committee. We need you on this leadership team. We need you here. We need you there. And then these are the same people who are like, I'm working 60, 70 hours a week. Well, say no. Like
Right.
2 letters, N-O,
Yes.
say no.
Complete
Prioritize
sentence.
yourself. Right.
Yes.
It's a complete sentence.
Right.
You don't have to say anything else. You do enough.
Exactly.
But what I've noticed when I see people in that mentality is they're getting something from it.
Okay, tell me about that.
I like some of the people that are coming to mind right now. I see their identity almost being tied to being sacrificial, and that's how they get the attention that they want. Like, oh, Pam. I mean, poor Pam. We're really running her through right now.
When in doubt, we talk about Pam.
When in doubt, it's Pam. And, oh, look at Pam. She works so hard. Oh, Pam, you're so tired. You do so much. You should take time for yourself, Pam. And it's like all these people then are feeding
It's the attention.
that. It's the attention. It's the ego. Like this would all fall apart if it weren't for me, right?
Yes.
And I think the people that like build that mentality, that life around themselves, it's almost their mask. It's their way of staying relevant.
Yes.
Because they feel like they'll be obsolete or ignored or overlooked if they
Right.
didn't do these things.
Interesting. Or I also wonder if without those things, if they would have to like really look in the mirror and like figure out their true identity. Because it's almost like an identity crisis. Like I'm too busy to think about what my real interests or desires or hobbies or where I really fit. And I'm so busy I can't even look over there.
And I could not agree more. It's definitely a way of hiding from themselves, right? In plain sight. In this way where they're like, you're so great, you're so awesome, what will we all do without you? And then it's like, well, I don't have to face those inner demons, right?
Yeah.
Those things that make me scared or nervous or even
Right.
I don't know the answer to those questions, and that freaks me out.
Yes.
But if I just stay busy,
Right. I'll never have to face the music.
I don't ever have to face it. I don't ever have to face it.
Right. And that could even include things like they're not eating well or taking care of themselves because they're so busy, and then they have an excuse for the poor behavior.
Well, that was my mask. One of my masks is I was so busy doing all these other things, and I legitimately was busy, and I wasn't someone who took on more. It's just life was busy. I had two promising athletes. I'm traveling all the time.
Right.
It's very right. This was my narrative. My victim mentality was it's very difficult to eat healthy because I'm always on the road. I'm always traveling. I'm always eating out, right?
Yes.
Instead of, okay, that's not true because there are plenty of people who travel and are fit, but this was my narrative, right? I can't get it under control because I don't have time because I'm never here.
Yes.
And I was very sneaky at making that look like a valid reason.
And that was your villain. The food was your villain.
The food was my villain, right? And the busyness was my mask.
Yes.
And so I got away with it. But what ultimately ended up happening, and this is what happens when we lean into victim mentality, is it's going to show up in an imbalance somewhere in our lives. So either we're going to have relationship issues, we are going to have physical issues. It will manifest somewhere
Yes.
to our detriment.
Yes.
You don't see many people in that mentality, especially that martyr mentality, that self-sacrificial place, who don't either have a weight problem, a money problem, a relationship problem. There's always a problem.
Right.
There is a problem everywhere.
Yes. Yeah.
And they're usually big ones.
Right. And it's so disempowering. Like, you are not, your brain is like a hamster and it likes to run on a wheel. And if you don't have a good problem to solve, your brain will go looking for a problem to solve. So it might have found I'm suffering with anxiety because I've spread myself so thin because I'm on all these school board things and volunteer things. Or you could give it a good problem like, how am I going to get 2 hours a day just to myself? What does that look like? Do I order my groceries for delivery? Do I ask my children to help around the house more? Do I hire someone that can come clean up dishes after breakfast? You know, whatever that is, you're setting your brain on a good problem to solve when you're saying that, like, I need 2 hours a day for free to me. Or you can be on the bad hamster wheel, which is poor me, woe is me. I can't help myself.
And I love that kind of the good problem to solve versus the bad problem to solve, because when we're leaning into that more negative space, when you were saying those, like what was coming to mind for me is a lot of people who get on that hamster wheel of I'm going to do for everybody else, and I put myself last. They don't sleep well, so then they're not rational. They do have a lot of anxiety because their nervous system isn't regulated. And there's a lot of resentment then that comes in the relationships, the closest relationships around them. So they're watching their spouse who maybe has created boundaries and said, okay, you can go be crazy on your little hamster wheel over here, but that's not the life I'm going to live. I'm going to sit my ass in this chair after work and watch TV and relax because I'm prioritizing some self-time for me.
Right.
But then there's all this resentment. I'm busy, 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 and you're just sitting on your ass and you're not helping, and I'm doing everything, and nobody around here is helping me do anything. And this is the words that are coming out, and this is the vibe that's in the home, and it's creating these relationship wedges.
Right.
Because you expect somebody else to come clean up the situation you created. And you don't want to take ownership for it. So now you're shifting that blame.
Totally. Which that takes me to this. Similar into the victim mentality versus not. No one is in charge of knowing what you need or don't need. And so when you expect people to be a mind reader, you're staying in victim. Like, I can't believe they didn't know I need them to do da. No, you need to use your words. You need to, be a direct, clear communicator and say, I'm stressed about this. Can you help me with that? Or whatever. But you cannot expect people to know what you are going to do or not do. I recently heard a story about this, that this couple, she had gone to the garage to put her Jeep doors back on her Jeep, and her husband had worked all day and ran kids around everywhere. And so he had sat down in a chair, poured himself a glass of bourbon. He was just chilling. She came and she was like, I'm going to go put the doors on my Jeep. And he was like, okay, great. And she had been kayaking all day. And she comes back in and she looked really pissed. And he's like, what's going on? And she's like, you didn't even come help me put the doors on my Jeep. And he was like, I didn't know you needed that. You didn't ask me. And she was like, you should know to do that. And I thought, whoa, that's, you know what I mean? Like, it's not fair to other humans.
It's not. And that's just because this person is a partner in your home.
Right.
Does not mean they are responsible for regulating your emotions and your lifestyle.
Yes.
You are making choices.
Yes.
And a lot of times, if you were to have had that conversation, should I join this PTO board? Should I be on this committee? And you had that conversation before that commitment.
Right.
Your partner probably would have said, I'm seeing things going on here.
Yes.
That are in imbalance, and I don't know. This might tip it.
Right.
This could tip it. And maybe we need to start tipping it in the other direction.
Yes.
And then you're creating that partnership, because if you expect them to be a partner once you've made the decision without having the conversation, and you now have created this atmosphere and this life, and you expect them to get on board.
Yes.
That's not fair, because they didn't sign up for that.
True.
You're making decisions without.
Yes. And like, just something to think about. Well, a really great book is called The Best Yes by Lisa Turkhurst.
Oh, I love her, but I don't know this book.
Amazing book. And she talks kind of about, like, if you're, asked to do something or volunteer or whatever, if it's not like, yes, then it should be a no. Because when you say yes to every little thing, you're actually robbing someone else of the opportunity to be the blessing, which is also a hit of dopamine when you help other people. So it's very, very important to not just say yes to every single thing floating in the air. It's okay. Just pick your best yeses and lean in there, and then kind of let the rest go.
Yeah, the best yes. And here's the thing. A lot of people say yes to everything because they think nobody else will, or they won't do it well.
Yes.
They wouldn't do it as well as they do.
Yeah.
That isn't your problem.
Bingo. That is good. And maybe it's meant to be done B- work. Maybe it's meant to be done kind of half done so someone else jumps in. You don't know.
Maybe it's meant to fall apart so a better system can be created.
Ooh, that's good. Yep, totally.
Yeah, you are not that important.
Yeah, you are not. And you are not the only solution to every problem.
No.
Yeah.
But if I'm not, then who am I?
Well, I think you're your own solution to your own problem.
Right, but you have to let that reality be there. You've got to get comfortable with your own agency.
Yes.
Instead of trying to get everybody else to define that for you.
Totally. Okay, so let's come up with a few scenarios that, like, maybe a person's in, and then we will say how we would advise them to get out of the victim mentality or
Okay,
steps to
so-
take.
How about the it's not fair mentality?
Okay.
So it's not fair. This is, I just can only talk about what I know. But it's not fair. This was one I lived in for the longest time. Is my husband, who is 6 foot, looks physically fit. Visually, you would look at him and be like, oh, he must eat well, he must exercise, he must prioritize his health. None of which are true. And I'm sorry, babe. I'm sorry, I love you. But, we
He eats
talked.
carrots. He eats a lot of carrots.
Okay. He ate carrots because I wouldn't buy him chips. And I'm pretty sure that fresh thing of peanut butter I bought yesterday is about half gone because he probably dipped every one of those in it. It's fine. It's fine. This is his journey, not mine. But what was always frustrating for me is, especially in our early years, he could get away with this a lot more. He would at night come home and he would literally get a half-gallon carton of ice cream and just eat out of it.
No way.
Oh, you wouldn't know it to look at him, right?
Right.
He would eat a bag of potato chips. Like if you had Doritos in the house, you did not have Doritos in the house the next day.
Yes.
He would eat that entire bag plus the ice cream. And this is after a full dinner.
Wow.
With an entire thing of not even diet soda, like full sugar soda.
Wow.
I mean, night in, night out, this man would do this. Me, I would watch him and gain 3 pounds just because I'm in the room with the sugar unleashed, and or if I would be like, okay, I'm gonna allow myself to have a cookie, and I'd have a cookie and literally would gain weight.
Wow.
And but I would go to the doctor, and in fact, we had those biometric screenings when I still worked in corporate America, and you would go once a year, and if you were outside of these 5 metrics, then you would have a surcharge put on your insurance if you did not get into alignment.
Yes.
And so everybody would, the week before we knew the biometric screenings, everybody's on a diet, nobody's eating sugar, they don't want to have anything elevated, all this stuff, right?
Yes.
And people would go get their biometric screening, and then they'd get the results, and they'd come back, and because you would have 6 months to correct it without this additional
Ding
charge.
on your,
And they would be crying, thin people just crying because they're not hitting the numbers.
Yeah.
I would go in,
Yes.
so obese.
Sure.
The only metric I wouldn't hit is waist circumference.
No way.
I would
Wow.
be totally in alignment, no extra charge, no extra actions I would have to take.
Yeah.
Every single time. On paper, I looked thin. On paper, my husband looked like an obese man. We actually had to go to Mayo for a health issue he had early in our marriage, and we couldn't figure it out. And when the doctor walked in, he said, I was expecting to see a morbidly obese man.
No
I was not expecting to
way.
see what I'm seeing here.
Wow.
And I always was in the narrative of this isn't fair.
That he can eat this way.
He can eat whatever he wants. Nobody judges him. We can go out to eat. Nobody says anything.
Yeah.
I go out with him and, relatives, that kind of thing, would make snide comments to me. Or I
Oh.
could tell they're watching what I'm eating. Health-wise, I was fine.
Right.
But physically, I looked like I shouldn't be. And the reverse was true. And I was always in that, just very pissed.
Victim mode.
Not at him. I mean, I wasn't mad at him necessarily, but I was mad in that victim mode of why does my body act like this and his doesn't?
Yeah.
And why am I the one who's fat when he's the one who eats like that? And why it's just unfair.
The why me.
The whole why me. Why me? And all these thin people at work are dieting all week and I'm not. And then they're judging me for not dieting, but I'm the one who comes in and has hit every number except waist circumference, and they're the ones who now have to do all of these, jump through all these hoops.
Yes.
I was always in that it's not fair mentality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think if someone has this headspace, my first thing I would say is, is that thought serving you?
No,
You
I
know
mean,
what
it
I
didn't
mean?
serve me. It just kept me in that rebellious state of, well, fuck it. I'm going to eat whatever the fuck I want.
Because it won't matter anyway.
It doesn't matter anyway.
Yeah, it's so disempowering, I think, especially humans. I've thought this a long time. I used to have 2 dogs at the same time. One was Old English Sheepdog, one was a French Bulldog. I fed them the exact same food, the exact same quantity, and they were physically built so different. The Sheepdog, when shaved, long and lean. The French Bulldog, muscle, dense, like strong. And it didn't even matter. And they're both technically dogs. You know what I mean? They're both dogs, but they were just, built so differently. And that's why I think also that comparison game is so dangerous. Some people are very, very thin, very naturally. Some people are more curvy, naturally. Some people carry it in their waist. Some people carry it in their booty. Some people, all of it. And so I think that is partially why that thought is so disempowering, is the comparison game. And I think a lot of people fall into victim mentality when it's comparing, like, why not me? Why can't I eat like that? Or why not me? I don't have that kind of money or that kind of career or those kinds of parents.
And so you're like, oh, it's not fair. It's not fair. But here's the deal. It's not fair. Who cares? It's not. That's the reality.
Yes.
I mean, I can say that till I'm blue in the face, and it's not going to change the fact
The
that
reality.
that exists.
Right.
All it changes is because here's the reality of it. On paper, I didn't look obese.
Yes.
But when you looked at me, I did, and I didn't like the way I looked.
Sure. You were.
I was not happy in that body. That body, while healthy, caused me a lot of pain and anxiety and shame.
Yeah.
And so who gave a shit what everybody else around me was doing? It was my way of avoiding my responsibility for the way that I looked.
Ooh, interesting. So how did you get out of it? Because obviously you lost a lot of weight. How did you get out of that victim mentality? Why me?
I think it's a good question, and I don't think it was a shift that happened overnight.
Sure, of course not.
I think it happened accidentally, to be honest, over time. I just started with the shift of, I'm not going to tell anybody what I'm doing this time.
Okay, I love that.
I'm going to keep this to myself. And
Kind of had your own back.
I had my own back. So immediately that was different than how I had done things in the past. And then I also had decided that I wasn't going to try to do everything all at once.
Good.
I
love
was
that.
like, I'm just going to shift this one thing.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all I'm going to do.
Kept
this
it
one
easy.
thing.
And what was the one thing?
I started intermittent fasting. I didn't change what I was eating.
Yeah.
I just changed when. That was the only change I made.
Wow.
But it's a mathematical problem, right? Because if I'm not eating snacks, if I'm not eating breakfast, if I'm not eating after a certain time at night,
Yes.
naturally I'm going to have a calorie deficit.
Sure.
And it's a mathematical equation to lose weight. So that was an easy way to start to lose weight. To start to see success. And as I started to see success and I started to build trust with myself, like, oh, I can do this.
Yeah.
So now I can layer in the next thing.
Yes.
And then the next thing I layered in was, I'm not going to drink as much.
Yeah.
So now I have a
some more
2 drink
calories.
max. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
So it was just slowly over time. And as I did that, what ended up happening is all of that it's not fair mentality I had
Yeah.
started to become, actually, I shouldn't have been. I was a train wreck.
Wow.
Yeah, I
Helped you
actually
own it.
was. I was eating 4,500 calories a day.
Yeah.
It actually was really fair that I was fucking fat.
You're like, looking back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was, because I wasn't eating normal proportion sizes.
Sure,
I
sure.
wasn't doing everything I could to be fit.
Yeah.
It was easy for me to lean into that other narrative as an excuse for why I was the way that I was, or to qualify, or to make it okay.
Right.
Or to get people to be like, yeah, that doesn't make sense. He does eat a lot more than you.
Yeah.
But no, I was still eating plenty. Or else I
Yes.
wouldn't have been that fat.
Right. That's good. That's good. Yeah, I would challenge anyone that, like, I think any negative emotion or thought, not any, I'd say a lot, can somewhere, somehow stem from a victim place.
Yeah, I think the vast majority comes from some place that we feel
Like, sorry for ourselves or something.
Yeah, we lean into that attitude of avoidant behavior.
Right. So I would challenge anyone, like, when you're having that moment, that, like, sad or annoyed or frustrated or angry, pause and almost, like, take a step back if you can and look at yourself and kind of examine, like, what's the root thought that I'm thinking that's keeping me stuck in victim mode, and how can I change that?
Yeah, and why am I afraid to change it? Because there's a lot of fear lives there.
Sure.
So what is it I'm avoiding, and what am I afraid of?
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
I say no, I'm
Yes.
not going to do this thing. What am I afraid
Yeah.
is going to happen
Yeah.
when I say no?
Right.
Why am I not saying no
Yes.
when I know it's for my own best interest?
Exactly.
Why?
Exactly.
And I think that's we avoid, and we can't shift the behavior until we understand why the behavior exists. It doesn't mean we have to hold on to it. We just go, oh, okay, that's a good observation. I don't say no because I'm afraid if I say no, I won't be relevant.
Yes.
Okay. How do I shift that thought?
Right.
How do I make myself relevant in my own life?
Yes, exactly. And I mean, human brains and neuroplasticity, it's like a big field. And whatever thoughts you think, your brain has to go and prove it true. And as it's proving it true, it kind of wears away a path in the meadow. So, and it's gathering all this evidence to back up it's true. And so when you're ready to shift to a new thought, you're basically telling your brain, hey, we need to make a brand new path in the meadow. And that's going to be uncomfortable. You're going to have to like make some, knock down some terrain there, And so at first your brain is going to want to shift back to that old victim thought because it has a lot of evidence to back it up. It feels really true. But the more airtime and evidence you can give your brain about the new thought, the stronger and better that new path, the new meadow path will be, and easier.
It'll feel better.
Yes.
That's the thing. Right now, your nervous system is regulating through these behavioral patterns.
Yes.
It's what it knows.
Right.
So it doesn't trust the
Yes.
new narrative. It doesn't trust that if I say no, I'm opening myself up for so much more.
Exactly.
It doesn't see that.
Right.
So it's like, no, you got to say yes. You got to keep yourself so busy.
Yes.
And I think once you then just live in that space of like, oh, well, I said no, and now I've got my Saturday morning is free.
Yeah.
You start to allow for these, like, oh, now I can go to that yoga class, or I can go to this book club, or I can do this thing I've been wanting to do
Right.
that I didn't have time to do before.
Yes.
And then you start to create better experiences, and you
Yes.
see, oh, when I say no, better things come.
Right. And when I say no, I like the mom example. You're giving your children permission to, when they are a parent, to prioritize some of their own interests and hobbies as well.
Well, and just like you said earlier, you're giving other people the chance
Yes.
to do something maybe they want to do, or for something to evolve and become
Totally.
better, because you aren't there holding it back into this old patterning either.
Exactly. Yep.
Pam will always do it. Well, if Pam will always do it, why do I have to fix it?
Right. Yes.
Why do I have to make it better?
Yes.
Because Pam will do it.
Right. Pam's going to take care of it. And you're right. That's a perfect example of
I think one of the worst victim mentalities we can get into is thinking we're irreplaceable.
Yeah.
You are replaceable.
Yes.
I am replaceable. You are replaceable.
Right.
Yeah. Will people maybe be sad? Will there be a bump in the road? Perhaps.
Yeah.
But life will go on without me in it.
That's right. And that's for any company. Like, so if you're trying to decide, like, can I take this time off work to take this trip, or do I need to be there because my boss is going to guilt me? Prioritize you and take the trip, because,
Right.
someone else will pick up the slack.
And you don't want to have missed the trip because this company that won't miss you when you're gone
Yep.
was a priority over your own life.
Right. And on your deathbed, are you going to be like, so glad I didn't take that trip and didn't miss a day of work?
Right. So glad I got that extra report in.
Right. Or are you going to be like, man, I made amazing memories on that trip with my family?
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's the legacy.
Right.
And also, I think especially the moms, that mom example is really such
Striking
a
a
relevant
chord.
one. Yeah. I just think we see so many
It's
women.
going to ruffle some feathers.
Because I think we think, that is what we're here to do.
Yes.
We're here to be moms.
Yeah. Yeah.
But and to some extent,
Sure. It's a fabric in the tapestry.
that is it. But we are human beings
Right.
first.
Yes.
And we have the right to our life. We have the right to the life we will love.
Yes.
And we are holding ourselves back when we don't know who we are. And it's not, I think the question is for that mom who maybe is sitting here going, oh, clutching their pearls.
Yes. She might have turned us off, but maybe not.
Pam, stick with it. Pam, listen to our last episode. There's better things coming for you, girl.
That's right.
Really, we've got you all mapped out. However, moms, Pams, think of your daughter. Think of your life right now, the life that you live, where you don't sleep, you've ridden with anxiety, you're pissed at your husband, you don't have real connection with your friends, your body is not physically where you want it to be. And think of your daughter 20 years from now. Is that the life you want her to have?
That's
Because
good.
it's the life you're modeling for her right now.
Yeah. And I also think there's a lot of pressure. Like, if you hover and do every single thing for your family, your children, like everything, and never prioritize yourself, you are probably subconsciously hoping and thinking in the future they will continue to be your source of happiness. And it's just not okay. It's not appropriate. It's not right. Like, you're in charge of your happiness. They are in charge of their happiness. And of course, we're going to love and support each other and cheer each other on. If someone needs advice, we're going to give a little advice. But I think it's really messed up is when your children grow up and you still are relying on them for your happiness. No, that's victim too. Take back your power.
All right, that's our shift for today.
Go live, laugh, and do one bold thing before the next episode drops.
Follow us at No More Bullshift and keep the conversation going.
Because if you can't laugh about it,
You probably still need to shift it.